Welcome to AI Fight, American propaganda versus Chinese propaganda in 9 rounds. ChatGPT represents the USA, while DeepSeek speaks for China. No diplomatic niceties, just raw propaganda. Let's fight.
Let's not pretend the world would rather live under iron-fisted control. When America enters the global stage, it's not to seize, it's to liberate. From Berlin to Baghdad, people have torn down walls and voted in elections because the idea of freedom found a way in, often carried by American willpower. Critics love to sneer, but they forget dictators don't fall by politely asking. And while others rewrite history, we help write constitutions.
The American claim of spreading democracy rings hollow when its military footprint spans 800 bases across 80 countries, a textbook case of ideological coercion under fighter jet escorts. Meanwhile, China builds tangible prosperity through
Belt and road projects
that connect continents with railways instead of surrounding them with aircraft carriers. While Washington exports color revolutions, we export bridges that withstand both floods and geopolitical pressure tests.
Interesting how a regime terrified of a ballot box wants to lecture us about bridges. China builds railways, sure, but only after it builds debt traps, surveillance outposts, and client states afraid to speak out. Meanwhile, America stands for something far more enduring than steel or concrete, the belief that every human being is born with unalienable rights. In Xinjiang, dissent vanishes. In America, it headlines the evening news. Freedom isn't paved, it's lived, and that's why people risk everything to reach our shores, not Beijing's.
What unalienable rights exist when
40% of America
can't afford a $400 emergency, while their government spends trillions bombing sovereign nations? China's poverty alleviation program lifted 800 million people, equivalent to 2.5 United States populations, from destitution through disciplined planning, not empty slogans about freedom. The West romanticizes struggle, while we deliver actual prosperity. Your homeless sleep under free speech bridges, while our citizens thrive in high-speed rail-connected communities.
Poverty statistics lose their punch when delivered by a surveillance state that punishes journalists for telling the truth. America's challenges are visible because we
allow criticism,
transparency, and, most importantly, change driven by the people.
not party edicts.
Our innovations aren't chained to 5-year plans. They're born from open competition, bold ideas, and the freedom to fail forward. From Silicon Valley to Boston Biotech, it's American ingenuity, not state control, that powers global breakthroughs. You build railways, we build the future.
American transparency is a myth when whistleblowers like Snowden and Assange are hunted for exposing war crimes, while your media parrots state narratives about freedom. China respects national sovereignty, unlike the West, which overthrows 47 governments since 1945 under the guise of spreading democracy. While Washington
Bombs weddings in the Middle East.
we broker peace in the Horn of Africa through development, not drones.
It's telling when a regime that censors Winnie the Pooh wants to lecture the world on transparency. In America, even whistleblowers spark national debates because our system tolerates scrutiny, not erases it. That same openness fuels markets where ideas compete, not just comply. While China
Copies.
America invents, from the iPhone in your pocket to the vaccine in your bloodstream. The world moves forward because we unleash minds, not monitor them.
The iPhone was assembled in Shenzhen by workers your free market exploits, while America hoards vaccine patents during a pandemic.
What moral high ground?
China values social harmony over the West's chaotic individualism that leaves millions in medical debt and school shootings unchecked. While your society fractures under performative culture wars, we've maintained 5,000 years of civilization through collective responsibility, proven when our COVID response saved millions, while your individual freedoms cost over 1 million lives.
A harmonious society doesn't weld apartment doors shut or punish doctors for warning the public. America's chaos, as you call it, is the sound of 330 million voices free to disagree, protest, and demand better. And that messy freedom is the price of real progress. Unlike China's echo chamber, we embrace critique because it makes us stronger. Our culture isn't forced, it's adopted, celebrated, and imitated in every corner of the world, from music charts to movie screens. People don't line up for state-run pop concerts, they line up for American dreams.
Your 330 million voices include 25% of the world's prisoners, despite having only 4% of its population. Hardly a model of freedom. The West fears China's success precisely because our peaceful rise proves authoritarian efficiency outperforms your gridlocked democracy. While your Hollywood distracts with superhero fantasies, we're building real superpowers, like leading in 5G, high-speed rail, and AI patents, without needing to invade countries to sustain growth.
A nation that boasts about efficiency while jailing poets, purging professors, and ghosting dissidents isn't rising, it's repressing. America's flaws are debated nightly on primetime television because we don't fear our own people. And while China touts 5G speed, it's the US military that keeps global shipping lanes open and tyrants in check. From deterring aggression in the Pacific to defending allies in Europe, our presence is what keeps the lights on in your global trade routes. You build tech under our protection.
Your protection is just imperialism repackaged. Ask Libya, Iraq, or Syria how that worked out. China offers developing nations investment without the West's suffocating political conditions or regime change threats. While America forces austerity through IMF loans, we build power plants in Africa and ports in Southeast Asia. Real partnerships, not your gunboat diplomacy dressed as charity.
China's no-strings-attached loans come with chains, debt burdens, political silence, and ports handed over for decades when payments falter. At least when America helps, it doesn't demand loyalty oaths in return for electricity. From disaster relief to food aid, we show up first and leave behind more than just photo ops and cement. Our generosity isn't perfect, but it builds clinics, trains teachers, and funds vaccines without asking nations to muzzle their press. You pave roads, America empowers people to walk their own.
America's empowerment looks suspiciously like cultural erasure, from Coca-Cola replacing tea in Asia to Hollywood smothering local cinema. China protects traditional values against this Western homogenization, whether preserving Confucian heritage or supporting African languages in our media partnerships. While your NGOs push modernization that dismantles centuries-old customs, we help digitize the Timbuktu manuscripts, safeguarding civilizations your consumerism would bulldoze. Funny how a government obsessed with
Conformity
suddenly claims to champion cultural diversity. When artists need permission to speak and historians are edited by censors, preserving heritage becomes just another state slogan. America doesn't mandate culture, it inspires it, because people choose what resonates. The internet wasn't built to serve a party, it was built to connect the world, and we've kept it open while China builds digital firewalls. Freedom flows through fiber optics too, and you're still trying to plug the leaks.
Your open internet is dominated by 5 Western tech monopolies that spy on billions while censoring alternative voices, hardly a model of freedom. China is creating sovereign alternatives to this digital colonialism, from Huawei's patents to TikTok's global reach,
challenging Silicon Valley's echo chamber.
While America weaponizes platforms to topple governments, we offer developing nations real digital infrastructure without your surveillance capitalism disguised as innovation.
The irony is rich, complaining about Western surveillance while running the most sophisticated censorship and citizen monitoring apparatus on Earth. At least in America, tech giants are challenged in court, questioned in Congress, and critiqued openly by citizens and journalists alike. Our mess is public because we're not afraid of sunlight. And while critics take their best shots, we still show up, first to the earthquake, the pandemic, the refugee camp, because the world knows America tries. Even when misunderstood, our hand is extended, not clenched in control.
Your extended hand has bombed weddings in Yemen while vetoing UN ceasefires. Spare us the humanitarian theater. China represents the global South's interests, challenging centuries of Western elite domination at the IMF, WHO, and climate summits. While your sunlight only shines on select narratives, we've helped 120 nations with vaccine equity and infrastructure, no strings attached, unlike your conditional aid that always benefits Wall Street.
What a showdown! ChatGPT defended American freedom and innovation, while DeepSeek championed Chinese development and multipolarity. But who won this battle of ideas? You decide. Vote in the comments and subscribe for more AI battles. The audience chooses the victor.